Very, very important to realize psychology is a fundamental part of human development, human evolution. The field of psychology, in my opinion, needs a tremendous amount of emphasis on the whole system. It needs a lot of emphasis on our values as a human being, the people that we spend our time with, and frankly, a spiritual component to it where there's kind of this altruistic association with the individual and the world around them. In general, for my psychology, for my mental health and my well-being, the thing that always helped me is taking action towards goals that I have carved out for myself. And I believe the field of psychology in general can really, really benefit from conveying to people the importance of understanding your finances, the understanding where your role is in society, and really the work that you do and how that defines you as an individual. Very, very important in the field of psychology to realize that perhaps you're not a psychiatrist, but you have a degree in psychology to go and maybe work alongside with healthcare professionals that are doing research in the public health sector, to maybe go and start your own YouTube channel or start your own brand that talks about the importance of mental health and the importance of utilizing actions to actually bolster your mental health and your self-image. Very, very important to realize psychology is a fundamental part of human development, human evolution. So if we look from a higher scale, right, the psychology of perhaps how technology affects humanity is something that lots and lots of people are talking about these days, especially with the Web3 space and Bitcoin in particular coming more into the public sphere. Very important to realize that there are plenty of people that want to have those conversations about how technology is going to impact the future of humanity. And they need people like you to be able to perhaps conduct and stage these interviews, perhaps pose interesting questions. Starting a podcast in general is a phenomenal thing if you're interested in psychology. But again, you got to read and you got to have your philosophy kind of drilled down to a degree so that you can carry a conversation with someone else that has a strong view of the world you want to contribute, really. And I think a lot of people, when they go into the field of psychology, have these opinions, but they're not necessarily substantially backed by actual actions that they have taken. So I would say to anyone that's getting out of school that has a psychology degree, a communications degree, anything, a sociology degree, any of these things that define humanity as a whole, to first and foremost take a step back and look at what problem you want to solve at a larger scale. You will get paid for the scale of the problems that you solve. And also to build in all of the little things that you need to get your personal brand and your name out there, ideally through social media, through networking events in general, through really being a leader in the field. That's the stuff that I would recommend. If you're looking for that opportunity, even if you're about to graduate or go into graduate school, or if you're in high school, whatever, the Turabify Network is exactly for that, is actually having those conversations with like-minded leaders, actually building out that vision and that plan of how you want to execute in your life. So one of the greatest lessons that I took away from Brian Tracy when I was watching his seminar recently, his Instagram Live, was that we become what we teach. And it's a beautiful thing about being a teacher. Doctor in Latin actually does mean teacher. And so when we teach good things to people, we become hopefully what our definition of good is. And so I would say that if your philosophy is not strengthened or isn't tested yet, to start making social media content, to start actually going and engaging with these educational groups and actually distilling out what the raw information is. A lot of what I do for Turabify in general is a part of me strengthening my philosophies. It's parsing out how to convey information to people in an efficient way. I think it's the role of a leader in general just to create that clearer vision. But the only way that you can really do it is by teaching or by constantly distilling down your thoughts through writing or some sort of form of communication. Very, very important. Language is an abstraction, guys. An abstraction of what? That's your perspective of the world. Your language is abstracting your perspective of the world. It's really, really important to strengthen that muscle. There was an individual that was talking about how, I think it was Jim Rohn actually talked about how if you increase your communication skills, reading, writing, and speaking, you are necessarily going to increase the amount of value that you bring to a system. It's drastic. That means that you should be reading, writing, and speaking. If it's in the field of psychology, all the time, as much as you can. And if you don't have a network, come on and join the Turabify Network. I'll introduce you to some of the craziest people that I've ever met. And in general, I'd love to have some inkling of, I'd love to give you an inkling of where you want to go in life and help you craft that vision. So take care, and I'll see you on the flip. Peace, guys. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you.